Welcome to this new webinar of the Deploytour Beyond Borders, where we discuss and comment on the synergies between data spaces, between our data space, tourism data space, and other data spaces. Today, we would like to thank CEADS, the Common European Agricultural Data Space, for joining us, as well as all of you for your participation. Before we start, I would like to make just a couple of reminders. Please mute your microphones. At the end of the presentations, you will be able to make comments or ask queries, questions openly. If you don't want to talk, you can use the chat too. The session will be recorded and will be uploaded on the Deploytour website. And also on our YouTube channel. So when it's available, we will share the link on our social media channels, mainly LinkedIn. So please follow us and you will receive updates and notifications. That's all. So now I would like to thank Ms. Doris Marquardt from the European Commission, DG Connect, for joining us today and agreeing to participate in the welcome. So I won't speak more. Doris, the floor is yours.
Yes, good morning. So first of all, thank you for having me and thank you for organizing this webinar, which I think is a great opportunity. And I'm Doris Marquardt. I'm the contact person for agriculture in DG Connect, and I have the pleasure to follow the development of the data space and data spaces since some years. So thank you for organizing the webinar fostering cross-sectoral data sharing through data spaces in the field of agriculture and tourism. So personally, I'm from an island from the Baltic, where agrotourism is a key cornerstone of the local economy. So I know well what is the potential of agriculture and tourism data is, and what the potential added value of cross-sectoral data sharing for both sectors could imply. And it's already evident. So not only for designing attractive, for instance, cycling routes and facilitating tourism activities for persons with allergies, I think there are multiple examples, and I'm confident we will learn more today. For drawing strategies benefiting from data, for planning purposes, forecasting, and AI applications, data spaces are a key asset. For competitive AI, which is cost-effective, a critical mass of AI-ready data is needed. Both the Apply AI strategy, but also recently the Data Union highlighted the relevance of data spaces for AI and for innovation. For competitiveness, societal benefits. AI is expected to contribute significantly to uncover the untapped potential of cross-sectoral data spaces and data sets. Data sharing across sectors has to be proactively considered in the design and development of the data spaces. So it's really great to see that those two common European data spaces foster this topic of, let's say, cross-sectoral data sharing already at an early stage in their journey and collaborate with each other. To fill data spaces with life and make them effective, it needs stakeholders ready to share data and parties interested in drawing on data through data spaces. That means mobilizing investments into data spaces and having a business model are essential cornerstones to ensure the viability of data spaces and financial sustainability. To achieve this, revealing the added value which may result from data spaces has to be revealed in a feasible manner, particularly considering the target groups. Use cases, as we will discuss them today, are an important element in the development of technical requirements of data spaces, but also to demonstrate their added value. Considering that the target groups of those two data spaces include a large number of very small businesses, the abstract concept of data spaces has to be broken down. The advantages of data spaces have to be underpinned, probably with hard figures, for instance. What is the cost-saving potential and return of investments of a data space or a certain database solution? Tailored communication on the added value of data space to practitioner and end users is very important to mobilize the investments and the use of data spaces. So I encourage multipliers to spread the word among their stakeholders and data space consortia to prepare targeted group-specific information material to spread out the word about the added value and the use potential of their data spaces, and in this case, more specifically, of cross-sectoral data space activities. I wish you an interesting webinar and look forward to the results and the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now I will give the floor to Dolores Ordoñez, Director of AnySolution and Coordinator of Deploytour. Dolores?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Olga. Thank you so much, Doris, for this introduction. Just very short to welcome you all. So later on, I will explain a little bit about the project, but just to explain a little bit the why we started in organizing this kind of webinars. And it's because we really consider that tourism is a very transversal industry, and we really need to ensure through data spaces that data will flow not only within the tourism sector, but also with other sectors. And that's why we have started with this webinar series. As Olga has mentioned, every time that we organize this webinar, we upload the recordings to our website. So we have already organized it with the language, with mobility, data space, smart cities and communities, and many others. And I think it's a great opportunity to showcase now today which could be the links and synergies between agriculture and tourism. That for us also, I'm personally being in the Balearic Islands, this is crucial in order to ensure also sustainability and also the keep and protection of the landscape, among other important things. I really would like to thank Frances and all the ILVO team for being here today and having accepted very quick the invitation to be here. And thank you to Doris for this brief introduction. And that's all from my side for the welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I think now it's time to know a bit more about both data spaces and our guest, Frances Schutte, coordinator of the European Agricultural Data Space. It's your turn. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I'll share my screen. So good morning to all. Thank you for the invitation. My name is Frances Schutte, part of ILVO, and I will tell you something more about CEADS, the Common Agricultural Data Space. So it's a Digital Europe project / non-project of 60 million euros. We are covering 36 partners, which are located in the green countries, so 15 countries. And we have 8 use cases. And this, we did a kickoff on the 1st of April last year. So almost 1 year up and running. If we zoom out, we have a agri data space as the ancestor of CEADS. So this already gave some idea on where we had to go and what is so specific of this agri data space, of agricultural data space. Now we are doing a preparational stage to go to later on implementation phase, because the idea is, like all data space, that it's a space. So space is here to stay. So we hope that CEADS can be very successful and can continue even after the project end date. So what's so particular of this agricultural data space? One thing is that we have a discrepancy between who is the data originator and who is the data provider. So we have the farmers that are generating a lot of data, but they are not the ones that will be exchanging. So we need to have really a trusted environment where farmers can give their consent, can revoke their consent, or can refuse that certain partners would use their data. So that's something very specific. Apart from that, you can see on the map, they are not all partners yet, but still many are, about existing data sharing initiatives and data intermediaries. So some of them, they are already operational for a couple of years. They have already a few thousand farmers supplying their data. plus many applications. Others are just starting up. So we have a very diverse maturity within the environment. We try to work around this and to get really bottom-up experience with putting our 8 use cases at the heart of CEADS. So we have one use case focusing more on the accountancy data and seeing how it brings value to the farmer, but also to companies and governments. Then we have another use case on research and innovation, how we can use all the data that is generated by universities, research institutions, how we can give it input for AI factories and so on. A third use case is about certified data, which is very important, definitely knowing with all the CSRD requirements. A fourth one is on animal health, how we can also improve the genes of the animals. A fifth one is on machinery data, so tractors, but also other machines generate a lot of data. How can we valorize it for farmer companies or also for the paying agency to validate eco schemes? And then we have the risk management, linking farmer data to, for example, bank assurance. For agrotourism, I'll leave it to Maciej to present it later on. And then we have viticulture, where we also try to really go more in the traceability into the chain. But this week, we also launched the open call expression of interest. So here, the aim is to also target the 12 countries which are in blue. So there is a webinar on this on the 17th of February. We will explain what's a bit more about CEADS and the in and outs of this open call. Please also check our website on the CEADS/open call for more information. The deadline of this open call is the 31st of March. If you look, we have different work packages. So we have, like I told, use cases in one, but we also have technical business models and governance, ecosystem and bit planning. But how do we make sure that all these different work packages are together? So the past months, we have worked quite intensively on getting a common vision. So where we have a horizontal over the different work packages and structure on how to collaborate along to each other and having a common vision. Then the idea is that we also define which are the services that we offer as CEADS, being the authority services, and which are the non-authority that can be also offered by a third party. And this all should feed then the data and the application services, which is a bit more out of the scope, but really is making the valorization of the data exchange. And by feeding this with the use cases and also using the DSSC blueprint building blocks to secure that we don't have any blank spots, a bit as a backbone. So briefly, this is my presentation on CEADS. Thank you for your attention. Here you can also find all our partners. And if you have any questions, please reach out.
Thank you, Frances. Thank you so much. Very good presentation. Very appreciated. If you agree, we have around a session of Q&As at the end of the presentation. So if you don't mind, the participants can send the questions or just raise their hands. Dolores, now it's your turn to explain a little bit more about the European tourism data space. Please.
So I was muted, so now I think everything.
Yeah, you're okay.
Okay. So, well, very, very brief. So I think we have some similarities with CEADS. So we're also funded by Digital Europe. We are a 60 million euros project with 43 partners covering 13 member states. And what we try is to represent all the members of the tourism value chain having as an objective this development of the Common European Tourism Data Space, also aligned with the data sovereignty, with the European data strategy, but thinking on who could be the beneficiaries of the project and how can we strengthen the competitiveness and supporting also sustainability. So those are key aspects in which we are also going to work to empower SMEs and GMOs in also making them beneficiaries and to work in the Common European Tourism Data Space. The context is quite broad. So we are now trying to put together all the ecosystem in order that Deploytour it's completely aligned with all the things that are happening at European level, but also at national level. Also within Deploytour, we have generated the interministerial committee in order to work with all the member states, because at a member state level, there are a lot of initiatives related to data and tourism, and we really want to be aligned with them, with other data spaces, because at the end, as mentioned, tourism is very transversal, and we really want to generate the synergies with them, but also with other data spaces, because we know that there are some tourism data spaces, as CNECT, the private one, or the Austrian tourism data space, which are public ones, and we want to generate these synergies and also to contribute with to put and to add and to make participants all the stakeholders. We started in October 2024, so we are now in this period in which we are in the pilot phase implementation. We have already developed our rulebook, which is available in the website, and we are working in this part of the putting together so the architecture with the governance and how this is going to be implemented through the different pilots that I'm going to explain later on. So we have a high-level roadmap. So for each of the pilots, what we have done is to develop the data products offerings in order to discover which data is available at the level of each pilot. The governance is quite strong because the ecosystem, taking into account that 95% of the business ecosystem in the tourism sector is composed by SMEs, it's very important that this interoperability that we want to bring from by design, it tackle all the aspects, organizational, legal, semantic, technical, and as mentioned, transversality is key. Working together now with CEADS, but what we are doing is to try to generate these complementarities also with other projects and other initiatives that are happening at European national level in order to be interoperable also with them, and also not to reinvent the wheel all the time, and to be also the framework for any data sharing initiative in tourism that happens at a European level. Just very brief. So we have 5 pilots. One was compulsory for the proposal, working transborder between Austria and Slovenia. Sustainability is key in all the different pilots. So also in the pilot 2 with resilience and competitiveness in mature destination, with the Spanish corridor, Canary Islands, Andalusia, and the Balearics. We are tackling also different typologies on tourism, as mass tourism in Ile-de-France, or cultural heritage also in the Greek in the Anosyros Islands, and also a special pilot to empower SMEs, which is being implemented in the area of Lapland to be spread also at European level. We are also working, we have generated a stakeholder forum, trying to engage as many actors as possible. Here you can follow us, as also Olga has mentioned, also through the website, and of course we are available to answer any question that can happen at the end. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dolores. Now we know that we have 8 use cases or 8 pilots in one data space and 5 in another data space. So now Maciej Zacharczuk, I'm so sorry, probably I mispronounced, from the Poznan Supercomputing and Networking Center will explain us one of the CEADS use cases, if I'm not wrong, the cross-sectoral data for sustainable agrotourism. Maciej, the floor is yours. Thank you. Maciej, can you hear us?
Yeah, I was muted.
You were muted. Okay, please.
Yeah, so use case number 7 from our 8 use cases is CEADS, so cross-sectoral data for sustainable tourism. Yeah, we focuses on connecting agriculture, so farmers. There are many of the farmers are local producers. They sell the local products direct to consumers. They have also agrotourism offers. So we connect with digital tourism platforms and also tourist guides. We build the agrotourism data ecosystem, let's say. So our goal is to ensure that data and information about farms, the products and offers can be easily shared. The data always is always up to date. It's ready to reuse across different platforms, different ecosystems, applications, countries, and so on. And the important is the data is fully controlled by the farmers or data owners. Okay, so bring together groups that usually previously probably work local separately. So we connect farmers, agrotourism hosts, as I said, tourist guides, tourists and visitors, tourism organizations. There is okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, as I said, so many actors here, tourist platforms, regional portals, and so on. So to be sure to create the shared data ecosystem with, of course, all data spaces, pluses like trusted data. And other tools that we can use from data space. So benefits for farmers and agrotourism providers. So mostly better visibility of the offer. So exchange, market possibilities, data only once provided, full control of the data sharing. So the knowledge of who uses this data and who displays can display the data. Yeah, also for tourist guides, organizations, and our tourist ecosystem and agrotourism ecosystem, so access to reliable and up-to-date local data previously not available. Easier onboarding of new partners, opportunity to create new services, new offers, using the data from agriculture. Yeah, and of course the end beneficiaries, so tourists, to provide the accessibility to current information, authentic local experiences, to access to the local products, the information, the data about it, and of high trust in presented content. So we have two scenarios here. As example, I start for farmer, of course, so enters application to provide the local products to sell it. So to provide that the data only once, of course, is needed, a description, photo, or data only for not to provide new data, even to reuse the data from farm management system also. So farmer then decides which platforms can reuse this data, and then we have the scenarios to use this data for tourist guides. So tourist guide can plan trips in rural areas using this data, such as vineyards, for example, and of course tourists enjoy the trip. And scenario 2, to use the data from farmers to inform tourists through tourism portals and displays the current offer of food availability, in the neighborhood, such as, for example, local cheese in the mountains and so on. So tourists see this information, can easily plan a visit to for example, buy this product or to taste it. Yeah. So the main is the farmers always keep control what happens with the data. Yeah. Okay, where are we now? So we are conceptually defined and almost agreed all of the design. So now we focuses on refining user scenarios, to define the really details and engaging potential external partners. So we still engage tourism organization platforms to collaborate with us, and we are looking still connections to other data spaces. So today is very good. For example, tourism, energy, mobility data spaces. We engage also inside CEADS use case for digital product support, for example. Okay. Territorially, we work on 4 countries: so Poland, Spain, Belgium, and France, through all of time of the CEADS projects. Okay, so thank you for your attention. That's the quick brief of our use case.
Thank you, Maciej. Very interesting. Well, I think the synergies between CEADS and Deploytour are quite obvious now. So now I'm going to give the floor to Peyo Oiz, who is going to explain one of the Deploytour pilots. Peyo, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you to our attendants. Now I'm going to try to share my screen. Okay. Sorry, a moment. Oh, I am sharing the screen. Is it?
It's coming, not yet. Now it's okay.
Now? Okay, okay, thank you. So, okay, my name is Peyo Oiz. I'm part of the AnySolution team that is participating in the Deploytour project, and of course participating also in one of the pilots that we are developing in the project. So I would like to of course explain something about this use case that we are participating not only in Balearic Islands. As you know, AnySolution is a company that is based in Balearic Islands, but now we are working with this tourism corridor that is composed by mature destinations, Canary Islands and Andalusia, with same problems but different kind of tourists. And so we have some different challenges, but mostly are common for these three territories with this common problem, that is to improve the resilience and competitiveness of the destinations. Okay, so we have to transform our tourism offerings. Okay. And so it will basically improve the power of the different SMEs. Mostly of the companies related to tourism in these territories are SMEs and micro SMEs. So we are sure that if we improve this competitiveness, it will empower these tourism companies. So what for us? What's the solution? The solution passes through utilizing data insights, and this will enhance this sustainability. When we talk about sustainability, we are not only talking about environmental sustainability, that is very important for all of us. Of course, we are talking about the economic and social sustainability, and of course territorial sustainability, because this is the environment for tourists that come to our destinations. Okay, so this innovation will reach better resilience and competitiveness in those mature destinations. As I have said, we are trying to focus on these three regions, Andalusia, Balearic Islands, and Canary Islands, with a focus on how to scale this to other regions in Europe, not only in Spain. This is the reason, because we have selected three, of course, Spanish regions, but very different and regions. In fact, Andalusia is inland, Balearic Islands and Canary Islands are, of course, islands, but with a different scope and different questions to solve. So we have divided our pilot in two use cases because we want to try different questions. In fact, the use case one is more focused on this sustainable high value to segmentation. So we are trying to define some different targets to make much more profitable marketing campaigns, and to try to bring to our territories much more people, much more concerned with sustainability. So we are gathering data, managing this data, and trying to generate these campaigns, marketing campaigns, focused on this kind of targets. And the other use case is much more focused on the different KPIs and the different elements that can refine and define specifically which is the impact when monitoring this sustainability insights. And of course, what we are trying to show is which are the results. We are using a specific tool, the Nadia platform, where that shows to the different stakeholders interested on this information and these elements to take decisions based on data, how to show them much more easy to analyze and easy to have to get decisions tool or front end in order to have this information. So basically on both use cases, what we are doing or managing is a data-driven decision driver to be much more sustainable. What we are doing basically, well, we have defined all the data products that we'll include in this pilot for both use cases. Basically, we will get marketing campaign metrics, hotel bookings, and revenue data from property management systems. We will get guest preferences and feedback. A lot of information about sustainability data, as I have said, in four principal axes: economic, social, environment, and territorial. Those are our main sustainability sources. And we have defined this data product offering, and of course now we are trying to implement the basis to publish catalogs in the data space. Okay. In fact, in terms of the main project, we are now ready to have the MVP for the data space deployment. It will allow us, not only this pilot, also other pilots, to upload those catalogs and start sharing data between the different participants in the project. Okay. So I would like, as CEADS has explained, we are having the same steps. We are doing the same steps in terms of how to define governance, the technical resources, the different pilots that will ensure and will explain how are we onboarding to the data spaces. And I would like to focus a little bit in this important term, the federation with other data space, because it's in our minds, in all data spaces minds. how to federate and why to federate with other data spaces. In fact, for us, in terms of tourism, the decisions depends on some variables, for example, water, land, energy, food, logistics, the climate and resources. Stress basically stress hits basically destinations first. In our case, in Balearic Islands, this is a big problem. And now these days we can see in the news that Andalusia, for example, is being hit by weather, and in Balearics it also happens. And so the tourism-only data is just partial, gives us a very partial vision of the reality of the different destinations. So we need some other kind of data, some other resources. Well, I will pass this because Doris has explained. It was a little bit, this slide was before this other, but basically it's explaining what Doris has mentioned. And again, I would like to remark this question of being interoperable. Sometimes most of the projects talk about interoperability, but we have to focus on that. We have to focus on governance and trust because we are sharing data. And this is the difference with other data sources. The governance and trust is a pillar of the data spaces, and of course we are demonstrating it by pilots. And so federation, what means it? It means that we are connecting without centralizing. This is what differentiates data spaces with others also. So the data stays with owners. The common trust, access, and interoperability are basic pillars, and it will enable cross-border and cross-sector services. And here I would like to point that we are, from the first stage, Deploytour has had in mind to be connected with other sectors. And for us, CEADS is a very important project because of course, they are deploying secure cluster environment, and agricultural data space, and of course includes cross-sector pilots connecting agriculture and tourism. So it's very important for us. This is okay. This is a call to action. I would like to explain, for example, two practical federation use cases that could be. Because CEADS, for example, in case A, CEADS could provide water price information, restriction, production impacts. European tourism data space could provide some data about demand flows or season peaks, for example, and the output of this federation and this data sharing could provide adaptive capacity thresholds and target measures, for example. And another example of how to, what could be the output of federating CEADS and ETDS, for example, an experience on local supply alignment. For example, CEADS could provide seasonality, production forecast, logistics, science, etc., from some of the stakeholders participating in the data space. ETDS could provide, when I say provide, we could publish some data in our catalogs about demand by segments and timing, and the output could be a better planning for rural experience and a stable supply, for example. And those are two use cases working together, but I'm sure that we could generate much more use cases in order to generate profitable outputs. So how could we do that? So starting with 1 to then TDS CEADS data products, publishing the catalogs of these data products, align semantics, access policies, and trust mechanisms. This is very important. Sometimes we don't focus on this, and this is mandatory. And then to pilot, measure the value, and try to scale this federation. This is an example of what could we do together with from this joint venture. And I would like to finish with this phrase. I think it's quite important to have in mind. If tourism wants to stay competitive under climate and resource pressure, we need more than tourism data. We need federated data across the system that sustains destinations. So Deploytour makes ETDS real, federation with CEADS makes it resilient. So thank you very much. If you want more information about Deploytour, here you are this QR, you can scan it. Have much more information, not only about our use case. There are 4 more use cases, so pilots in our project. And thank you so much. Here you are my contact also if you have any questions.
Thank you, Peyo, and thank you all of you for these very interesting presentations. And now it's time for those who would like to ask a question or make a comment or an observation. Please don't be shy, raise your hands and participate. If you don't want to talk, you can use the chat and write something in the chat. No, no one?
Okay, just to break the ice. So I think if everybody is shy, so for the presentation, I think they were very, very interesting. What I see now, Doris, I don't know if you want to go first. Well, for me, what it's important is that at the end there are key things in which the data coming from agriculture and tourism could contribute to this lot better sustainability, the generation of new use cases. I think it's very good that also there are partners that are in both projects, and I think also that this collaboration in order to ensure how this data is going to flow from one data space to another, I think it's a joint effort. So at the end, we are tackling different complexity of actors that we have. So on one side, the tourism ecosystem with the very small and micro SMEs, but also we have the farmers in agriculture and also as very small actors. And how are we going to support them to benefit from this data economy? So to know and to be aware which are the data and how can they make a better use of all these data. So I think it is something that we have to continue working. And I think it's very good also in CEADS. From the very beginning, this was also this possibility to generate this use case related to agrotourism. And I think with Maciej, we are going to continue working on it and exploring also these possibilities for the catalog, for the semantics, and all these issues that we will have to solve in order to demonstrate that data will flow from one data space to another. So Doris, if you want to read it out.
No, thank you. I think I'm quite aligned with you, and subsequently also the question, if you have the small, let's say, enterprises, and to make them, let's say, the data spaces are still for many associations still abstract. And to make it feasible, because if you want to run the data spaces later, so you have to be financially sustainable. So maybe the tourist associations also have to invest a little bit into the data space to make it work. That means the members have to be convinced that it's a good investment. And I think on the last presentation, it was already reveal the added value. So it was on the slide. So, but I think it would be great to make right from the outset the effort to demonstrate to the local players what is the added value and why to share data and why to invest into the data space. I think that will be very crucial because both data spaces at European level will come soon in a period where they have to achieve financial sustainability. And it would be good to have the crowd already being interested and backing the concept up. I think that would be, worthwhile to make the effort.
Okay, thank you. Maciej, would you like to say something?
Yes. So it was pleasure to be here. So because for me it's very important. So for example, we are looking new data consumers, new partners. I see the connection between us. Also important for me, it's data about tourist practices. So So, for example, to know how much tourists go to rural areas, what they are looking for, yeah, what they did, what decisions, what are the decisions also to visit the farms, the rural areas, and so on. Yeah, so that is something that we are still missing. So we are here. I see the possibilities to cooperation. Yeah, it's important. Yeah. Yeah, also I see that we can cooperate, that even internally in our use case, we see we start with basic plans. So we start with the basic scenarios that we see, and after that adding new connections. Yeah, so additional data spaces to establish more connections and exchange the data we can use. Yeah, of course there are some issues for us, so like technical, so interoperability, semantics, and so on. That's we are in data spaces project, so we know how we will do it. Yeah, and also to find to common business. Yeah, so as I said, the common business, for example, for agriculture, for farmers and tourists. Yeah, so to how to find for example, tourist decisions. Yeah, how to define it, how to provide the offer for tourists and their decisions. Yes, of course. Yeah, and of course, also we have the interesting data like forecast methodological, so we can of course share it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Well, the idea of the joint use cases has been very welcome. We have a question in the chat asking for, oh, we have so many now, asking if we are planning to develop this further. So we will keep you informed. Peyo has answered, it's a must. And we have another question for maybe for Francis. Do you have a space for precision agriculture? Sorry.
Yeah, for me, the precision agriculture, I would see it fitting in the use case on machinery data, because yeah, it's precision agriculture. You will use a lot of data on one hand. So I think a bit, and that's relation, depending on who will be using the data. So is it more the farmer, or if you want a validation based on that, if you want to have more the training of AI models based on images coming from the field, then maybe use case 2 is more relevant. So it's a bit captured in different use cases. It depends on where the focus is.
Okay, thank you so much. We have another question for Maciej. Is the data on authentic local experiences already available via an API to digital platforms for use? Well, actually, are 3. And any plans to add more European Union countries? And how can a startup collaborate?
Yeah, so we are still looking for let's say data consumers, like for example tourist operators to collaborate and so on in many countries. So of course, so we are interested, yeah, to share the data across Europe, but now we are collecting data and sharing data from these 4 countries. Yeah, it's Francis said that there is open call now, so we are looking for the also new partners in open call. So that is possibility to join the existing use cases or create new ones. Yeah?
So yeah, I think open call will be the main focus. If you want to join, you will have the webinar. If you want more details, check the website. Plus, if we look to maybe data sets that can bring value really related to tourism. So also everything on agrotourism and accommodation. So farms that have, for example, rooms available where you can go and sleep if there is like an organization that offers it. That would be an interesting added value. But also linked to food industry. So maybe linking the consumption of local food. So you have the appellation d'origine contrôlée, AOC, but you have so regional products, and this also linking it back in the chain towards the farmer. So I think there is also a potential overlap between these two data spaces.
Yes, exactly. And according to authentic local experiences, we have some data on Balearic Islands, but now, but we don't have this data in other countries. So we have mostly the data from farmers or from about local products and so on, but not exactly the local experiences as well. Yes.
I think that with the pilot that we have in CEADS, in which we have started to also to involve, for example, the tourist guides. I think it's something that once we will be able to test with them and to work with them, perhaps it would be also a good opportunity then to scale it. So, and I think once we have something real that works with the actors that also can explain by themselves how it was, this possibility to participate in the data space, in both data space indeed, I think it would be very, very useful also to start scaling this possibility to involve new actors from the tourism sector for CEADS and also for the agricultural sector in Deploytour, because of course, as Pello has mentioned, this is very important also for us to develop new use cases and also how it contributes also to generate these new experiences in the tourism sector, very linked with the agriculture, with the rural areas. So I think those are things in which we will have to continue working to see how can we make it real and then to scale it all over Europe. And not Europe, because I see also Milica here. So, and it would be great also to spread it to other members.
Okay, thank you. Well, you are seeing that Austria Tourism is happy to contribute and to participate. Any other question? Comment? Nothing? Okay, so Dolores, if you want to say some words as a final remarks, you have 4 minutes.
Well, even less. So first of all, thank you for the participation, for also for these contributions. I think it was a very interesting webinar, and it has demonstrated the importance of the collaboration, not only among the partners in the projects, but also the collaboration between the initiatives that are setting these frameworks for making possible that data will flow. And I think we have to continue going on and to go more in deep on how these steps that we have to implement in terms of technical issues, semantics. I think we have to lower the barriers for the users to understand what is data space or how they can benefit from it. And I think it's a joint effort that we can do, and I think it's great that we are already collaborating. For everybody, as Olga has mentioned, this webinar is being recorded, so it will be uploaded to the website. And also, this webinar series is one of the activities that we are implementing in Deploytour. Every 2 months, we organize a webinar with another data space in order to also to continue identifying these synergies on how can we continue collaborating with other data spaces, because we consider that is something that we have to put in common and also to involve all the ecosystem. We are here open to collaborations and also to see which are your needs in order to take into account when we are deploying the data spaces. So thank you so much for your participation and have a nice day.